Welcome to New Possibilities. I speak truth to power without fears. So, we had another tragic loss in the city of Baltimore. We lost a huge icon in the city, the brother Dante Barksdale. He was a director of Safe Streets. And for the past 10 years, this brother had dedicated his life to ending the violence in our city. He helped organize efforts to intervene and intercept, situations to diffuse potentially violent or volatile situations, to mediate disputes in neighborhoods, to minimize a lot of the violence that exists in Baltimore. And, that brother is highly respected. The mayor held a vigil for this brother. I will post a link to that vigil so you all can learn more about the great work that this brother has done. Also, I'll post a link to an article from the Baltimore Sun that outlines his history, his life, how he started off being involved in crime and how he turned his life around and became a peacemaker in neighborhoods. And you will see in that article that the HBO series The Wire was based in part on his life and the lives of some of his relatives. So I encourage you all to check out that article from the Baltimore Sun so that you can learn more about him. But this is a horrible situation. This brother was the heart of Safe Streets, and it's a shame that here you had a brother who spent his life trying to end the violence, ending up being a victim of the violence. And I think that what we need to do, not only in Baltimore, but around this country, is honor this brother's legacy by continuing this brother's work, by supporting this brother's work. We need more funds for organizations such as Safe Streets, organizations that are actually trying to end the violence in communities. They deserve far more funding so that they can have more resources, so that they can have more people involved, so that they can intervene in these situations of violence. And it's just a shame, like, what kind of message does that send? That we have somebody that's trying to bring peace to neighborhoods actually becoming a victim of violence. Somebody that represents the heart of safe streets being killed in unsafe streets in Baltimore. It just speaks to how deep this problem of violence is in the city. It speaks to the failure of our elected officials and of our communities to really effectively address this problem of violence in our communities. Um, I know that without people like, Dante Barksdale, the violence would be far worse than it is. And we have to just continue to be about the work and quit being about just talking about things. We have to all get involved so that we can have safe communities. Just as people march against police brutality, we need those same people to engage in marches against the violence that plagues our communities. And many of them do engage in those anti-violence rallies as well. But we need more people. We need people to be concerned with what happens in our communities. We can no longer turn a blind eye. And I was listening to one of the brother's messages on his Instagram page where he talked about how the killers in our community need to be shamed just like the so-called rats in the community. They need to be shamed. Too often, killers are celebrated. We have rap songs where they sing about and celebrate the shooters, people that are shooting and killing in neighborhoods. They're celebrated. They're celebrated in the gangster movies, the gangster music, and all that kind of stuff. Killers and, everything associated with it, they need to be condemned. And we need to have the courage to stand up in our communities, to stand up and report crimes that happen in our communities, take action against people engaged in illegal activity in our communities. Um, and I hope that people who know anything about this crime contact the police and report this crime, and report the people who killed this brother. That's the only way that we end the violence. As long as people are turning a blind eye to all this criminal activity that's happening in our neighborhoods, as long as people turn a blind eye to the violence and the brutality that happens in our neighborhoods, we will continue to have more violence and more crime in our neighborhoods. As long as people give these people a green light to commit atrocities in our neighborhoods, that stuff will continue. So we have to be the ones to take a stand. Many people complain about the police, and rightfully so, but are we policing our own communities? Black man, black woman, are you policing your community? Are you doing what's necessary to end the crime in your community? So yeah, I just want to, send my condolences to the brother Dante Barksdale's family and his friends. May the brother rest in power and peace, and may we be inspired by his example to bring about peace in our neighborhoods. And these politicians, that are, expressing their condolences and all that stuff with his brother, I think that more important than simply expressing condolences is you supporting programs like Safe Streets with more funding. Increase the funding for programs like Safe Streets so that we can actually have safe streets in Baltimore and around this country. Peace and blessings. Please rate, comment, subscribe, like the video, share the video, hit that notification bell so that you'll know when I post new content on here. Peace and blessings to each and every one of you. Have a great day.